Hello, and welcome back to Sharing a Chapter a Day. This is Do, Ra, me, and today I will be reading Chapter 70 of Engagement in Peril by Dara, Odoe, Sok. Chapter 70 is titled Spiritually and Mentally Alone. While on medical hold at various times throughout my stay in Newport, when I was quite down and depressed from the thoughts and of how I had been screwed over by Boost, which made me angry and irritable, I wondered why they couldn't just send me to the nearby hospital to work. They thought I wasn't right in my mind then, and I would be troublesome for everyone else if I was allowed to work around the general public, and of course I did pretend that I was out of my mind playing the role that they thought I was. Being lonely and depressed and thoughts of my failure caused me at times to angrily weep, and I would take out my frustration on furniture and equipment within my dormitory and the empty buildings I worked and lived in. And on those anguished, irritable, very lonely nights, and when my anxiety got the best of me, I would go to the nearby weight room and gym facility, no matter what time it was, whether it's 2 in the morning or 17 in the afternoon. I would take out my anger and frustration on the weights and gym equipment there, all alone, busting my body and working out my demons upon until I could barely lift my arms and move my body and legs. And at various times I would find myself awakened in the workout room, exhausted and famished from the recklessness and hideous ordeals that I have put myself through. And to make my loneliness and anxieties more horrendous, I was given residency in a building all to myself. It was weird. For some strange reason, I was given a whole building all to myself. I don't know why, but that was the way it was. They didn't place me with the other medical hold personnel where they packed them all in one building several blocks down the road. They got to have roommates and such. I didn't. Yi and Thomas were roommate. I had no one. I was by myself in a room. I guess I wasn't functional enough to have a roommate, and since I pretty much hated the world and those around me then, so I was left all alone to my lonesome self, in a building by myself. Serves you right, Dara. You really messed up yourself then, and they were quite scared of you, what you would do and what you were thinking, or what you were capable of doing if you were around people in general. You are one crazy-ass motherfucker. I think they kept you away from others for their safety and security, and also for your own good. I guess they knew what they were doing. Instead of putting you in the brig, they had to keep you away. I was given a 3-story building all to myself, which increased my bitterness for the command and those in charge of me. It's like they were supposedly hurting me mentally and trying to scare the shit out of me at the same time. So in some nights, I would run about, running amok and using my insanity as an excuse, up and down the hall, yelling, screaming, and flickering the light off and on throughout the entire concrete building, egging security to put me out of my misery. I was hoping that they would just end me there and shoot me to death. I no longer wanted to be around, especially around there. Come on, Dara. Really? You know damn well you didn't want to die there. You could have just waited until you were near the comfort of your mother and your family back in Long Beach if you wanted to die. You were fortunate the naval security didn't shoot your ass for being so reckless then in the lonesome building. I know you tried your damnedest to get on their nerve and get them to beat you, but they held their own and know how to handle you then. They simply let you be and ignored your ignorance. As a result of my stupidity and ignorance then, I usually got reprimanded for my adolescent action by the base authority and the boost coordinator. But I was never harshly punished for my misbehavior. They just thought I was some poor psycho bastard that needed attention, and they often looked the other way and ignored my outrageous deviance and fallacies. Aren't you glad and fortunate that the military security didn't shoot you down, Dara? You know they could have roughed you up as well, no, beat the shit out of you, but then again, they didn't want to leave any bruises or welts on you. You were quite lucky that you made it through without being beaten or given electric shock therapy, you son of a bitch. Your doctor did offer you some medication for your mental health then, but you refused any meds, and even threatened your doctor that you would sell those meds if you were given them. It was pretty scary at times, being all alone. No one around to comfort you, no one to listen to your anguish and hardship, and no one to lift you up when you're down. I was dead lonely and dead tired of all this bullshit and hassle that was happening to me. The loneliness gave me thoughts of running away and wasting myself. But I managed and kept my cool and thought of the good times and the people that made my life positive. My mother, my family, my benevolence, my friends, my past crushes, my last command, and the people there, and my place back home. Those memorable thoughts kept me going and kept me alive. Kept me, gave me hope. So I went on, continuing my daily routine and doing what needed to be done, and waited eagerly with some patience and much anxiety for my time to leave this horrendous place to come, so that I may leave this miserable place once and for all. And there was something else that kept me sane in Newport then. Well, someone kept me sane in Newport then. Well, actually, there was someone else that kept me sane there at various times during my stint in Newport, Rhode Island. Her name was Aileen. She kept me sane enough to go on each horrendous day there, although I was being shafted and placed under medical hold. It was she who helped to comfort my wandering insanity, anguish, and help relieve some of the anxiety that had been placed upon my burdened, fractured shoulders. Aileen was my sanity angel then. Aileen was in somewhat worse situation than I was, but it was at her own doing, for she was a fresh face, straight out of high school, candidate who had gotten herself intentionally injured, to get out of booze program because was unable to handle the daily grilling of military rules and regulation. She too came from the West Coast. Not too far from where I was, she was from San Francisco, California, the city that is renowned for its chilly summer fog, steep rolling hills, electric mix of Victorian and modern architecture, and famous landmarks including the Golden Gate Bridge, cable cars, Chinatown, and the famous ex-federal prison of Alcatraz, The Rock, now a historical landmark for thousands of tourists to visit and see each year while visiting the city of San Francisco and its vast bay attraction. Thank you for listening. This is the end of Chapter 70. Be on the lookout for Chapter 71, titled Promiscuity. This is Do, Ra, Me, and I'll see you later. Thank you.